The Gemara continues with the Mishnah. Again, the Mishnah said that if Shmuel's Nafal Lagina, if the animal fell into a garden, which in our case is Shmuel's animal falls into Daniel's garden and eats up his grain. So there are two ways of evaluating how much Shmuel has to pay for the damage that his animal caused. Number one is Mishalemes Mashenenis, and number two is Mashe Yizika. Now Mishalemes Mashenenis means that the owner pays the amount that he benefited, which means the amount that he would have had to spend on feeding his animal if it didn't eat already. Mishalemetz Mashe Zika means the owner pays for the damage that the animal caused. It'll be more than Mashenenis, and the Gemara soon on Amud Beis will examine exactly how that is calculated. So our Gemara says that if Nafal Lagina, if it fell into the garden, Mishalemetz Mashenenis. Now, the case is like this. Daniel comes in and says that your animal ate $20 worth of grain, and therefore you owe me $20. Shmuel responds that I would never have given my animal $20 worth of food. I feed my animal only $3 worth of food, and therefore he wants to only pay $3. The Gemara says that since Shmuel washed his animal properly, and it fell in b'oinis, that means it fell in and it was an oinis, Shmuel did all he could to watch his animal properly, and it fell in b'oinis into Daniel's yard, so he only pays mashenenis. That's all he has to pay, is only what he gained. In our case will be $3. And we let him off easy. Now, the Gemara over here is going to examine exactly how did the animal fall in. Now, it was oinus, but what type of oinus? Obviously, if we're letting Shmuel off easy, it has to have been that it fell in something that was beyond his control. Well, what happened over here? And that is what the Gemara now is going to examine. And it brings down a machlokes. There's Rav Kahana, who says that the animal slipped in its mei raglayim and tumbled into the yard. And then there's the opinion of Rava that holds another animal shoved it and it fell in. Now, Rav Kahana and Rava both argue with each other. They're not just giving two examples. They disagree with each other. And what they disagree over here is how much of an oinus does it have to be that we're going to let Shmuel off with only mashenenis. And Rav Kahana said it has to be that it slipped in its mei raglayim. Now, if you would rate how big of an oinus this is on our oinus meter, it would be a pretty big oinus. Rav Kahana holds that it has to be a pretty big oinus in order for you to get off scot-free. It's beyond your control if the animal is going to slip in mei raglayim, and therefore it's considered an oinus. Rava, on the other hand, he says that another animal shoved it and it fell in. Now that is less of an oinus than Rav Kahana. Rav Kahana requires it to be a much bigger oinus in order for Shmuel to only pay mashenenis. Rava, on the other hand, lets him get off much easier with a lesser oinus. Now, the Gemara examines and says that Rav Kahana, who said that the animal slipped in its mei raglayim, would disagree with Rava, would hold that in Rava's case, where an animal shoved it in, that it's not considered to be an oinus. And the reason why the Gemara says is because he should have made sure his animals don't go walk single file past this guy's yard and don't knock each other in. On the other hand, Rava, who holds that the oinus was that an animal shoved it, which is a much lesser oinus, he certainly would agree with Rav Kahana that if the animal slipped within its mei raglayim and landed in the yard, that he would be chayev, potter rather. It would be considered an oinus, and Shmuel would only have to pay mashenenis.